Hello, my name is Shannon Dunwell. For the past year, I have spent my time researching, designing, and building a machine called the Holographic Image Producer. At the start of the project, I knew I wanted to do something that combined my years of experience at Bullis with engineering, coding, and building with my interest in art, design, and possibly optics. I settled into the topic of holography after my initial research, and I found that there were many misconceptions of what a hologram is. Media for the last few decades has portrayed holograms as 3D projections of light that form moving shapes or objects. For example, Star Wars, Back to the Future, and practically every Marvel movie ever made. Today, these types of systems are only available in virtual reality, as scientists have not found methods to create true 3D projections of light. The ones seen in the real world are often just tricks of the eye. Dennis Gaber, the father of holography, named holograms from the Greek words holos, whole, and gramma, written, because it writes the entire information of the light. Onto a holographic plate is recorded how bright the light shines and the direction of its contact. This is made by light beams crashing into each other, resulting in an interference pattern. When illuminated, you can see objects and patterns in 3D. After learning all this information about holograms, I decided to make some of my own. For my project, I used red-sensitive holographic plates from Intergraph to get the full experience of exposing and developing a hologram. But if you wish to make some yourself, Liddy Holo is a brand that sells holography kits and plates that do not need developing. Light is very easy to manipulate, so in order to make a hologram, you must find a location with no sound, no movement, no air currents, and most importantly, no excess white light. I spent 1 week looking for a location on campus that would best fit my needs, and I also made an LED safe light so that I could see what I was doing. I spent many days during school mixing together the developer and bleach that would allow me to properly develop the plates for viewing. I went into the music library in the Blair Auditorium and spent hours making sure everything was properly set up. I had both a laser and object set up along with a safe light and developing station. I worked in near complete darkness, and after I was done, I left with 2 holograms. One of my keychain, and another of 2 quarters. My original steps and capstone this year were to explore the world of optics in a creative and artistic manner using engineering and technology fields. As I moved on, I realized that holography is a field with so much potential scientifically and artistically. However, it feels out of reach for your average person. The many hours I spent in the music library are inconvenient and unrealistic. I decided to make a machine to capture holograms in order to expose this field to more people and allow it to be more commonly used as an art form because current methods of holography are inconvenient and expensive. My main challenge was to find a way to connect the exposure section of the machine to the development section of the machine to prevent the need for 2 separate machines and take out the need for human intervention. My original design contained conveyor belts that held many plates starting at number 1. A plate would then be secured into a clip that took it to exposure station number 2. Once reached, the laser would turn on for 45 seconds. The plate would then move to the developing station number 3. As I considered this, I realized that this design would require more servos and motors than I had access to due to the robotics team being in season. I decided to simplify my design so that I would only need 2 motors and 2 continuous servos. This new design allowed the plate to be manually loaded so that when the machine starts, it is immediately exposed. The design then simply shifts the plate horizontally from exposure directly to the development station. It then moves downwards into development. Onto the corner of the machine, I would attach a light setup called an interferometer to detect vibrations. Here's a better view of the machine setup. The interferometer would be held in the corner while the laser shines on the plate in the center of the machine. For developing, I cut a hole into the wood under the location where the plate would be shifted after exposure. I then made a circular board that held the 6 developing liquids. This board would rotate and stop at each container, and the arm carrying the plate would vertically move to dip the plate into each one. After this process, the hologram is left to dry and then is able to be viewed with a laser light. In the exposure section of the machine, I was able to create and build a sandbox vibration dampener. I had to experiment with the pressure of the tubes because there needed to be enough air to absorb excess vibrations, but not enough to pop after a high added weight from the main body of the machine. Once the machine is done being built, I would add a large bag of sugar to act as sand in order to add more weight and evenly distribute it. Due to remote learning, although I was almost done with building, I was unable to set up the interferometer or code my machine to test it. These images show where I left off. I believe I learned a lot this year about holography, and although I wasn't able to come up with a finished product, I was able to successfully flesh out my ideas. I hope you enjoyed learning about holography and may even try creating some on your own. Thank you for watching.